Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a Halloween look, obviously. This is my take on Maleficent. Now I am going to personally be Maleficent for Halloween. My family, every year we decided that we're going to do a family costume, and this year we are all being villains. So I chose to be Maleficent because I found these horns at a Renaissance fair and I just fell in love with them, and they just kind of like screamed to me because I don't like costumes that are too costume-y. I like to play with the makeup and the clothes and make it more comfortable and wearable. So this is the makeup look that I came up with. I really hope you guys like this video, and let's just jump right in. So I am going to be doing things in a little bit of a different order, but I am going to start with my brows. So I'm going to take a wax crayon and I'm going to push it in the opposite direction so that I really get the wax in there. Then I'm going to take a spoolie brush and I'm just going to be brushing out the hairs in the direction that I want them to be. Now I'm going to go in with my Nivea Men's Post Shave Balm, and I'm going to be rubbing this all over my face. Now with this primer, you want to make sure that you rub it in until it gets tacky. Now I'm going to layer on another primer, the Too Faced HangoveRx, and the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to be applying a lot of foundation, so I want my face to be as hydrated as possible. Now I'm going to go in with my Cover FX Correct Click pens, and I'm going to take the green one and counteract all of the red all over my face because I want my face to be pretty flat. Then I'm also going to take the orange like I always do and put that underneath my dark circles. Taking a synthetic brush, and I'm just going to be blending out the green in circular motions and then also the orange with a synthetic brush. Now I'm going to go for the brows, and for the brows I'm using ColourPop eyebrow color in Bangin Brunette, and my brows are going to be extremely sharp and structured. So I'm going to outline them first and then color them in. The shape that I'm doing is very angry looking, I think, and it's got that point at the end, and I just want it to be very slick and extremely sharp. Now I'm going to go with my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. The reason I'm doing this is because we are going to be applying shadow really close to the bridge of the nose, so I want to make sure that I get my concealer up in there before we go for the eyes. Then I'm just going to take a synthetic brush and I'm going to buff that out. For eyeshadow primer, I'm going to be using the MAC Prep and Prime 24-Hour Extend Eye Base. I'm just going to apply this all over my lid from the brow bone down to the lash line. Then I'm taking a translucent powder and I'm going to set my eye. And I'm going to use quite a bit of translucent powder. And the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to apply a lot of dark shadows and not really using transitioning shades. So I want everything to blend as seamlessly as possible. Now I'm going in with the Morphe 12P palette. I'm using the black on an angled brush, and I'm just going to carve out where I want my cut crease to be, just to give me a shape. Now I did extend that line towards the bridge of my nose, like I said. Then we're going to take that matte black again, and I'm just going to pack it on top of the line we just created. Now taking the purple and a fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to really buff that right underneath the brow and smoke it out towards the outer corner of my lid. Now I'm going to take that same angled brush and a little bit more black shadow, and I want to kind of taper that line a little bit more. It was just too thin and I wasn't liking it. Then taking a thick pencil brush and black shadow, and I'm going to buff the black in with the purple so that they just kind of blow out into each other. Now taking an even bigger fluffy blending brush and that deep gray blue in the palette, I'm going to buff out the outer corner. Now taking a little bit more matte black, I'm just going to pack that on the outer corner and all the empty space over there because we want everything to be very dark and sultry. Again with the blending brush just to blend everything seamlessly together. And I wanted to blend the nose a little bit because I thought it was just a little too harsh. Now I'm going to switch to my face and leave my eyes alone for right now. So my camera did stop recording and I didn't notice, so I just picked up my Cover FX Cream Foundation in the color N10, and I applied that very thickly all over my face. And the reason I went with something so light is because Maleficent is very pale and very structured, So I wanted to start with a very, very pale base. Now I'm going to go in with that same foundation, but an N90, and I am taking an oval 6 brush from Artiste, and I'm just going to carve out my cheekbones. Now I am placing this directly on top of my cheekbone, not underneath it where I normally would. I'm going to be using right on top of it because Maleficent's cheekbones are very high, and I want to give the illusion that I also have very high cheekbones. Then I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. This is not something that you want to blend out completely. You still want to have a pretty harsh line on top, but underneath you want to diffuse it quite a bit. So I'm just going to go in and pull down the product and just blend it downward as much as possible without taking away from that sharp line along the top. Now I'm going to contour my nose, and I'm just using a small synthetic brush and that same cream foundation. And I'm just going to structure my nose pretty sharply, and I'm going to blend it out, but I'm not blending it out too much because, again, all of Maleficent's features are very sharp, and I wanted to create that look for myself. Then I'm going to do my jaw. Same concept, just blending it out a little bit, but nothing too much. I'm also going to take it up onto my temples, and for this I'm just patting it into my hairline. Now I'm taking a dry beauty blender, and I am just going to buff everything out a little bit more so it's just a little more seamless. Now I'm going to be taking my Coty Air Spun, and I'm going to pack this all over the areas that are the N10 shade. So everything that is lighter is going to get covered with translucent powder just to set it so nothing moves. Now I'm going to bake underneath my eyes because we're going to finish the eyes off, and I don't want any of the powders to fall onto my face and ruin the makeup we just did. So I'm just going to take a beauty blender, and I'm really going to pack on that translucent powder underneath my eyes. Now I am taking a tapered blending brush and a little bit of the purple shadow, and I'm going to draw furrow marks, which is just a deep wrinkle on the forehead because I want them to kind of look like I'm scowling, so I want it to be a little bit more angry looking. That brush was a little big, so I switched to a smaller tapered brush, and I'm just going to make it come to a little bit of a point. Then for the other side, I didn't want them to be exactly the same, so I did something just a little shorter, but the same idea. Now I'm taking that large pencil brush again with some black shadow, and I'm going to be buffing that on my lower lash line, and then taking a bigger blending brush with the gray shadow, and I'm going to just blow that out a little bit more. Now I'm taking that N10 cream foundation again, and I am just going to cut my crease even more. I want it to be extremely sharp, so I am going to take it and I'm going to make a very crisp, clean line along my lid. Now I'm just going to take the white shadow from that 12P palette, and I'm going to pack it on all of the foundation area. Now I'm taking my NYX liner, and this is the one that is a vinyl, so it's got a little bit of a shine to it. And I'm going to put it on my hand and then use a angled liner brush to create my inner corner. I just want to extend it just a little bit, nothing too crazy, but just to give it a sharper look. Then I'm just going to take the wand from the liner and lightly line my entire lash line. Then going back in with that angled brush, I'm going to line my lower lash line, then extend out my inner corner as well on the bottom. So you just basically don't go directly on your lash line, you go a little bit lower to pull that a little bit wider. You want your eyes to look bigger and brighter. So I'm going to take the white liner and I'm going to color in that empty space to give the illusion that my eyes are a little bit bigger. Now I'm dusting off all of the bake because we're done with the eyes now for the most part. And I'm going to be taking this contour palette from Morphe, and I'm taking it on top of the cream contour because the cream contour is very warm and your natural contour is more cool. So I picked up a cooler shade and I'm just going to pack it right on top of it to set it and to make it look a little bit more natural and not so warm. Also doing the same thing on my nose with the same powder just because everything was just a little too warm for me. And then I'm also putting it on my lower lip just to make my lips look a little fuller. Taking a fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to buff out my lip as well as my nose. Now with my nose, I'm not blending it out completely, but just a little bit. Now I'm going to pop on some lashes, and I will be right back. Now I can't do a look without highlighter, so I'm going to be taking the LumiNizer from the Balm, and I'm going to place this right on top of that new cheekbone we created. So basically the space between my eye and that dark contour is going to all be highlighted, and then I'm going to bring it around the curve of where my cheek is. Then I'm going to take a little bit on my chin and my Cupid's bow, of course, and then take it down the entire bridge of my nose. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to tuck it on my eyebrow in between that furrow we created and then the eyebrow where they come and they meet to a point, because I want to give them a little bit more dimension. Now I am taking a eyeliner, the MAC Smolder eye kohl, and I'm going to be lining my lips with it. Now I did get a little out of frame there, but I am sticking to my natural lip line pretty much, except for I'm making it extremely pointy on the top. Now I'm taking Jeffree Star Valore liquid lipstick in Weirdo, and I'm going to be applying this on the outer edge of my entire lips. Now I'm going to be filling it in with Too Faced Lady Balls melted matte liquid lipstick, just to give a little bit of an ombre. And that is it for this look. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!